This is a sweet youth school drama of an ordinary girl, Xia Miao Miao, who falls head over heels for the most popular, smart, and handsome guy Liang Yunian in school. This story kicks off with Xia Miao Miao, a shy, innocent, and pretty average-looking girl, moving to a new house with her mom and her little sister. While they are shifting, Miao Miao can't help but wonder how their family business will survive in such a quiet area where everything is so quiet. She asks her mom why they chose this place, and her mom explains that this place is very special for her and the neighborhood is great. Miao Miao's dad is not around, so it's just the two of them unpacking, while her little sister Xia Yao Yao, the epitome of an extrovert, is chilling on the rooftop eating fruits without a care in the world. Meanwhile, Liang Yunian is in a rush to get to high school. He leaves his home to cycle for school, chatting away with his best friend, Huang Ningkun. Back at the house, poor Miao Miao is exhausted from all the unpacking because, of course, she's doing everything herself, and his sister is not doing anything at all. She storms upstairs to get Yao Yao to help, but when Yao Yao refuses, Miao Miao chases after her, threatening to throw a grapefruit peel at her. Yao Yao dodges, and the peel lands right on the head of, you guessed it, Yunian, who's just walking by to his school. Our shy Miao Miao panics and hides, terrified of what her mom will say if she finds out her act on the first day in their neighborhood. But Yao Yao, ever the smooth talker, assures her sister that she will handle it. She even pretends to be scared and apologizes profusely to Yunian, who instead of getting mad, places the peel on his head like a crown. The two laugh, and Yunian walks away with a smile, leaving Miao Miao a bit starstruck by his kindness, and of course his handsome face. Yup, she's got a crush. To promote their shop, Miao Miao starts handing out flyers to the neighbors. She ends up in a school field where a basketball game is about to start. But one team is missing a player, causing a delay. Spotting Yunian, the coach of the team runs over and begs him to fill in as their captain has not shown up yet. Yunian declines, using the same excuse he gave before. He is no longer interested in playing basketball. You see, he used to be the star player and captain of this team, but he quit to focus on his studies and other things. However, after some more pleading and a lack of uniform as an excuse, the coach offers him the missing player's uniform. Reluctantly, Yunian agrees and steps onto the court, quickly getting back into his groove and leading his team toward victory. Miao Miao, drawn by the noise and excitement, ends up at the game too, and her eyes are glued to Yunian. All the girls are cheering for Kai Tuo, and Miao Miao mistakenly believes that Yunian's name is Kai Tu, so she starts cheering for him too. Just then, a high school girl named He Xin notices Miao Miao and asks if she wants to join the Kai Tuo fan club. Miao Miao, thrilled, agrees, only to be interrupted by a call from her bossy sister, who orders her to come home immediately. Miao Miao is bummed to leave the game early, but she has no choice. But before leaving, she agrees to be the part of Kai Tao's fan club. The match continues, and everyone is enjoying it until a boy walks onto the field and angrily yells at Yunian. The crowd falls silent. It's Lin Kai Tuo, the actual team captain, who was missing. Kai Tuo, known for his rudeness, berates Yunian for daring to touch his uniform, let alone he is wearing it. The atmosphere gets tense as Yunian throws the uniform back at Kai Tuo's face. Kai Tuo, in a fit of rage, shouts even louder, but the coach reprimands him for his irresponsible behavior and late arrival. Feeling humiliated, Kai Tuo declares that he's quitting his position as captain and storms off. Meanwhile, back home, Miao Miao can't stop thinking about Kai Tuo. She FaceTimes her best friend Azia and gushes about her new crush, how kind and handsome he is, and how well he plays basketball. She's even joined his fan club, but Azia, ever the realist, pulls up the official fan club page and sees nothing but complaints about Kai Tuo, calling him rude and arrogant. She warns Miao Miao to stay away from him as he is not a good person, and you too will end up hurting. But Miao Miao, confused, still believes her crush was kind-hearted when she saw him from a distance. Determined, she decides to continue supporting him. The next day, Miao Miao heads to the bookstore to prepare for her new school. While engrossed in a book, she notices a boy crying. Just as she's about to comfort him, Yunian shows up and cheers the boy up, even sticking a silly sticker on his forehead to make him laugh. After the boy is happy and leaves, Yunian forgets about the sticker, and Miao Miao can't help but think about how wrong the fan club posts were about Kai Tuo, who she still believes is Yunian, is actually a really good guy, and help every kid when he met them. When Yunian notices Miao Miao laughing, he looks at her with a puzzled expression. Miao Miao, trying to keep it together, points out the funny sticker still stuck on his forehead. Yunian chuckles at his own silliness and thanks her for it, and then goes to collect his books and heads to the checkout counter. The bookstore owner, once again impressed by Yunian and again wonders, what does a top student like you need so many books for? You see, Yu Neon isn't just a handsome, kind, star basketball player. He is also a top student who devours books like they're snacks. He loves to collect all kinds of books and read them. He thanked the owner for his kind compliments, and just as he steps out of the bookstore, it starts raining, so he waits for it to stop. Meanwhile, Meow Meow, who has been sneakily following her crush with her newly acquired books, comes outside and notices that Yu Neon is still standing there. She gets lost in admiring his handsome face once again, completely oblivious to the fact that Yu Neon is trying to talk to her. When she finally snaps back to reality, she panics because Yu Neon is asking her why she's been staring at him for so long. Does she know him? In her flustered state, Meow Meow blurts out that she doesn't have an umbrella and was just checking if he has one. She saw the umbrella but was nervous to ask him, as he also needed it because, it's raining pretty hard. Neon smiles at her cuteness and offers her his umbrella since he has a raincoat and does not need it while cycling. After handing over the umbrella, he leaves, and Meow Meow is left standing there, too mesmerized to even say thank you. But she is thrilled because she finally got the chance to talk to her crush, and not only is he handsome, but he also has a great voice. Meow Meow returns home and with a spring in her step, she starts replying to all the fan club members who had been bad-mouthing Kai Tao. She tells them to stop spreading false rumors about him because he is such a sweet guy. Just then, she receives a message from the real Kai Tu. At first, she cannot believe her crush actually texted her, and she's practically bouncing off the walls in excitement, which makes her sister Yao Yao think she has completely lost it. But when she finally opens the message, her smiling face turns to one of disappointment. The real Kai Tao had sent her a very rude text, telling her to stay away and that he did not need the support of some random girl. Meow Meow is heartbroken and can't believe that the same guy who lent her his umbrella could be so mean. She tells Azia everything, and her friend once again warns her that she was right. This guy is not as great as she thought. Feeling down, Meow Meow heads to dinner, but her mom cheers her up by showing her a new bag she bought for her. The bag immediately lifts Meow Meow's spirits, especially when she learns that her mom got matching bags for her and Yao Yao to avoid any fights, although Yao Yao still thinks hers is way better. Back in her room, Meow Meow is still a bit sad but gets excited again when she realizes that tomorrow she and her sister will start at their new school and make new friends. The next morning, Meow Meow and Yao Yao get ready for school, and Meow Meow carefully packs her crush's umbrella in her bag since he was wearing the same school uniform yesterday. When she arrives at school, the teacher introduces the new student, Meow Meow, to the class. Nervously, shy Meow Meow introduces herself and then takes a random empty seat as directed by the teacher. But the other students start whispering among themselves, which makes Meow Meow uneasy. She notices that He Shin, Kai Tu's biggest fan, is also in the class and asks her why everyone is whispering. He Shin tells her she picked the wrong seat. Just then, Kai Tu enters the classroom and sits down next to Meow Meow. He looks annoyed, gives her a sharp glance, and puts his head down to sleep. Meow Meow, still unaware that this is the infamous Kai Tu, tries to introduce herself and strike up a conversation, but he just ignores her. When the teacher asks everyone to take out their books, Meow Meow opens her bag and realizes with horror that she accidentally brought Yao Yao's bag instead. She is flustered and asks Kai Tu for help to lend his book as he is not studying, but he just ignores her. She got disappointed as on her very first day in her very first class, she had already messed up. After class ends, Meow Meow heads to the washroom after asking some girls but gets distracted when she spots her crush goofing around with his friends. The memory of his rude text floods back and she tries to leave, but a teacher pulls her away to discuss her admission paperwork. Meanwhile, after the break, every student returns to their classes and Yu Neon, the mischievous genius, starts playing a game with his friend Ning during the class. They're having fun until Ning loses and tattles to the teacher, who gets angry and kicks you out of class. Despite Yu Neon's protest that Ning was also involved, the teacher does not believe him and punishes him by making him stand outside. As Meow Meow leaves the administrative office, she spots Yu Neon balancing Chinese game discs on his head as punishment. She does not want to leave, but she has no choice since she is already late for class. Watching Yu Neon, she can't help but find him cute as he tries to balance the discs. When he notices her, he loses his balance and all the discs fall on the ground. He tries to put them back but can't manage it, so he asks Meow Meow for help. She was very excited as once again her crush had initiated the conversation. She picks all the pieces and is ready to help him, though she can barely reach due to his height. Yu Neon crouches down, and Meow Meow carefully places the discs back. After helping his, she was blushing and she walked away. From a distance, Kai Tu, who had been watching her delusional antics, notices everything. Kai Tu and Meow Meow arrive late to their class, earning them both a scolding from the teacher. Meow Meow is too scared to explain that she was delayed because of an admission issue. Kai Tu was annoyed by this point and rudely asked the teacher to let them take their seats, which only makes the teacher angrier. She reprimands Kai Tu even more, wondering what happened to him, as he used to be a top student. Kai-tu was indeed a top student and a cheerful boy, but since returning from a year-long school break, he has changed completely. When the teacher addresses Kai-tu by his name, Meow Meow can't believe that this guy in front of her is actually Kai-tu. So she starts verifying this in front of the teacher, which only makes Kai-tu more annoyed. He finally yells out, "Yes, I am Kai-tu!" At this point, the teacher's anger hits the roof. As punishment, she tells both of them to call their parents to the school. But Kai-tu responds that he has no parents or family, so it's not possible for him to bring anyone to school. The teacher, now silent, realizes that no matter how tough or rude Kai-tu tries to appear, he is still just a kid. She tells both Kai-tu and Meow Meow to return to their seats. Kai-tu sits down without showing any emotion and puts his head down. Seeing all this, Hishin feels awful because she knows Kai-tu does not like talking about his parents, and now she's worried. Meanwhile, Meow Meow, while sitting down, starts to wonder who her crush really is if this boy is Kai-tu. As the class ends and school lets out, Neon heads to the bike stand to get his bicycle, just like all the other students. Summoning all her courage, Meow Meow stops him, thanks him for the umbrella, and hands it back. Neon smiles, and his friend Ning bursts into laughter. When Meow Meow realized, she was shocked to see that she had been holding Yao Yao's doll the whole time. She forgot her bag got switched in the morning. Neon chuckles at Meow Meow's adorable mistake and leaves with Ning. On his way home, Neon smiles to himself while thinking about Meow Meow as she is different and little cute, which Ning notices and starts teasing him about. The two pass by Meow Meow's house, where she's pushing her bike home, thinking about how silly she acted in front of her crush. She wishes she had a Doraemon who could take her back in time to fix everything and save her from that embarrassing situation. Just then, Neon shows up in front of her with a Doraemon-shaped balloon. Meow Meow is completely surprised. How did he know Doraemon is her favorite? And on top of that, he bought a cute balloon for her. But Neon walks right past her and gives the balloon to a little girl standing nearby, making her day. Embarrassed again, Meow Meow quickly heads home, mentally kicking herself for being so foolish. When she gets home, she tells her best friend, Ajia, about everything that happened in the school, including the big realization that her crush is not Kai-tu, but it's Neon, who was always a kind person. But after that doll incident, she was sure Neon thinks she is a complete idiot. Ajia reassures her not to worry. She says that Neon is a nice guy and won't hold a grudge over something so silly. He will probably forget all about it in a few days. After venting to her friend, Meow Meow logs into Kai-tu's fan page and starts ranting about him now that she knows the truth. She even compares him to Neon in the comments, saying how kind Neon is and how Kai-tu is the complete opposite, rude. Instantly, Kai-tu's fans start sending her threatening messages, asking how she dared to badmouth their idol. Meow Meow is confused after reading all the comments because just a while ago, everyone was calling Kai-tu rude, and now suddenly, they are all defending him. The group's admin, Hishin, also jumps in, saying they'll find her and teach her a lesson. Right then, Meow Meow gets a text from Kai-tu himself, threatening her, "I've got my eye on you. Let's see who can save you now." Meow Meow quickly logs off after this weird situation and is relieved she used a fake name for her account, or Kai-tu's fans would have found her immediately. The next day, Meow Meow gets ready for school with a smile, but her mom scolds her for skipping breakfast again. Meow Meow spots Neon riding his bike in the alley and gets excited to learn he lives nearby. She grabs her bike and starts following him, admiring how cool he looks listening to music while cycling, though he is completely unaware of the fact that a girl is stalking her. When they reach school, Neon greets someone and Meow Meow mistakenly thinks he's talking to her, but it turns out he was greeting Hishin and they start chatting. Hishin scolds Neon again for riding with earphones in, which he brushes off, changing the subject. She then mentions how one of Neon's fans dissed Kai-tu yesterday, saying that now Neon is becoming more popular than Kai-tu. Neon just shrugs it off, and they went to their respective classes. From a distance, Meow Meow watches and feels terrible, wondering if Hishin and Neon might be together, or if Hishin could be his love interest. Back in class, Meow Meow notices Hishin is still talking about Neon. When Hishin approaches her to chat, Meow Meow, feeling jealous, responds coldly. Just then, a student announces that their math teacher has resigned and someone new will be taking their place. Hishin starts praying that their new teacher will be handsome so she can actually pay attention in math class. But instead of a new teacher, their old art teacher comes in as a substitute and informs the class that they will have art class instead of math today, since the new teacher will start tomorrow. All the students happily start drawing. The art teacher notices Meow Meow's poor attempt at drawing and encourages her to do better. He remarks on Kai Tao's absence and mentions that he is late again. Meow Meow tells the teacher that he is the first one who has noticed Kai Tao, as other teachers usually leave him alone. The art teacher ponders this, just as the new math teacher enters the class. Seeing the handsome new teacher, all the girls, including He-shin, are thrilled and start swooning over him. After the math teacher enters, the art teacher starts to leave the class. But before heading out, he announces to all the students that he is starting a new art class, absolutely free of charge. So any student who is interested can sign up and learn for free. With that, the art teacher leaves. The new teacher then introduces himself as Lu Peng. As teacher Lu is about to share something, Kai Tu interrupts, asking for permission to enter the class. Teacher Lu tells him to take a seat, and Kai Tu sits down with his head lowered without even listening to his new math teacher. When the class ends, all the kids enjoy their break. Meow Meow also heads outside, but immediately notices and misunderstands the situation that He-shin and Yu-nian are getting all lovey-dovey again. Disheartened, Meow Meow goes back to the classroom, and upon seeing a drawing on He-shin's desk, she was left in awe. He-shin is not just beautiful and academically excellent, but her drawing skills are also out of this world. Jealous, Meow Meow sits down at her desk. Kai To notices her gloomy mood and bluntly calls her ugly. Meow Meow ignores him, but to annoy her further, Kai To snatches her drawing notebook. He notices a name scribbled on one of the pages, and it reminds him of the girl who defended him in front of everyone in his fan club for the first time and then later criticized him on their fan page. She even compares him to Yu-nian and says that Kai Tu is rude. Kai Tao immediately confronts Meow Meow and starts teasing her. He makes her do all his homework as a way to teach her a lesson. At first, Meow Meow refuses, but when Kai Tu threatens to tell everyone that she's his anti-fan if she does not do his schoolwork and homework, after this she caves in as she didn't want to let everyone know this and curse her. Poor innocent Meow Meow has no clue how Kai Tu found out about her fake ID, but she agrees to his demand. After school, Meow Meow is so upset that she doesn't even notice her mom has come to pick her up. Her mom, in fact, wants to get braces for Meow Meow to make her teeth look nice when she grows up. But all Meow Meow can think about is how she will look even uglier with braces, and she won't be able to eat her favorite foods. Despite not wanting to, she has to go to the dentist. Meanwhile, Yu-nian and Ning observe this whole interaction, and Yu-nian can't help but smile at Meow Meow's cuteness, which prompts Ning to tease him again. Ning also points out that the girl is Kai Tu's desk mate and warns Yu-nian to stay away from her. He reminds Yu-nian of what Kai Tu once said about staying away from his stuff. It seems that Yu-nian and Kai Tu were in the same class before, and something happened between them. Due to a one-year break, Kai Tao fell behind Yu-nian. The two of them then leave the scene. Meanwhile, Meow Meow seizes the opportunity to escape and rushes home, locks herself in her room, and calls Ajia. She shares how close He-shin and Yu-nian seem to be, making her believe she stands no chance of getting Yu-nian to like her. Ajia advises her to find an area where she excels, something that could beat He-shin. But Meow Meow can't think of anything, as He-shin is perfect in everything. Hearing this, Ajia tells her that she will have to study even harder if she wants to catch Yu-nian's eye and wants him to like her. Encouraged by this, Meow Meow resolves to focus on her studies more seriously from now on. The next day, she goes to a bookstore, buys a bunch of books, and immerses herself in studying. She even spends her savings to buy more books so she can work harder. A few days later, during Teacher Lu's math class, he notices Meow Meow not paying attention and yawning. Next to her, Kai Tu also has his head down, completely ignoring the lesson. Seeing this, Teacher Lu calls them both to the front and asks them to solve a math problem. Meow Meow understands the question but is too nervous to start and forgets the formula. Meanwhile, in the blink of an eye, Kai Tu solves not only his question, but also Meow Meow's. Impressed, the teacher praises Kai Tu, and the whole class cheers for him. Teacher Lu then advises Meow Meow that she needs to work even harder. Meow Meow returns to her seat, and as usual, Kai Tu dozes off again. Meow Meow checks the question and tells herself, "I studied this question, yet I could not solve it." Seeing this, Kai Tu gets annoyed and tells her to stop bothering him, calling her a fool who will always remain one even after she studies or not. After class, Teacher Lu announces that everyone can check their monthly exam results on the notice board outside. All the students groan about their names being displayed publicly. With a heavy heart, they all go to check their results. Meow Meow is disappointed to see that she has the lowest score in the entire class, while Yu-nian has topped the class again. Feeling utterly hopeless, Meow Meow starts to believe that no matter how hard she tries, she will never be able to score well, and that Kai Tu was right when he said that she is dumb and will never get good grades. Lost in these thoughts, she walks away without noticing anything around her. Yu-nian notices her again, smiles at her, but Meow Meow walks off without noticing him. Meow Meow returns home feeling sad and overhears her mom praising Yo-Yo for topping her class. Yo-Yo is very intelligent. the exact opposite of her sister. Meow Meow hears her mom saying that Meow Meow will also bring her results today, but let's see how she performs. At least she won't fail the exam. Embarrassed, Meow Meow grabs her bike and rides away. It starts raining heavily, so she takes shelter in a nearby lighthouse. She carefully observes everything inside, noting how neatly everything is arranged. Meow Meow takes out her notebooks and books to dry them, but a strong gust of wind blows her papers away. She hurriedly gathers them, but her math paper flies outside and lands on the face of a boy standing there. When the boy removes the paper, Meow Meow realizes it's none other than Yu Nian, who has now seen her awful math scores. Meow Meow is deeply embarrassed as, after all, the boy she had been trying so hard for has just seen her terrible marks. Yu Nian enters the lighthouse and tells Meow Meow that this is his secret hangout spot, and he often comes here and all the decorations are done by him. Since Yu Nian is a year ahead of Meow Meow, she respectfully calls him her senior. She checks her bag but realizes she has forgotten Yu Nian's umbrella again. She tells him she will return it next time. Yu Nian is initially clueless about what she is talking about, but when Meow Meow reminds him, he realizes that she is the same girl he lent his umbrella to, but he thought he met her for the first time during the doll incident. Meow Meow explains that she intended to return his umbrella that day, but accidentally grabbed her sister's doll instead. Yu Nian reads her name from her exam paper and casually tells her that she needs to study more since she scored low in math. Embarrassed, Meow Meow now feels very bad about her scores because she knows that not only Yu Nian, but also her mother will be disappointed when she sees her results. And when Yu Nian notices all the new books she has, he again tells her that these books will help her in studies. She just needs to focus more and work harder. Meow Meow, feeling defeated, replies that no matter how hard she tries, her grades will never improve. And her desk mate was right. She is doomed to be dumb forever. Yu Nian, a bit surprised, asks if Kai Tao really said that to her, and then apologizes on Kai Tu's behalf, insisting that although Kai Tu can be rude, but he is a really good guy at heart. Meow Meow, now even more confused, asks if Kai Tao is Yu Nian's friend. Yu Nian's expression changes completely and he starts pondering. However, when Meow Meow asks again, he brushes off the question and shifts the focus to her math paper, pointing out all her mistakes. But Meow Meow doesn't understand a thing because she had memorized the math without really learning it. Seeing her struggle, Yu Nian smiles and patiently starts teaching her math from the basics. Throughout the session, Meow Meow keeps glancing at him, but Yu Nian, with a gentle smile, keeps reminding her to focus. After the study session ends, they both head home. Once back, Meow Meow laminates the paper Yu Nian had worked on and carefully stores it in her drawer along with the umbrella because it's very precious for her. Meow Meow is on cloud 9 because today, her crush not only talked to her but also taught her math. The next day, Meow Meow waits outside her house for Yu Nian. After a while, he arrives on his bicycle, smiles at her, and rides past. Meow Meow is now delighted and follows him to school. Once there, she sits down at her desk in a great mood, which puzzles Kai Tao. And Kai Tao, being himself, rudely asks the reason. Meow Meow cheerfully responds that it's a wonderful day for her. This made him a little surprised. She even starts doing Kai Tu's homework with a big smile on her face. At that moment, He Xin approaches Kai To, and when she sees Meow Meow holding Kai Tu's notebook, she assumes Meow Meow is copying from his notebook and scolds her. But Meow Meow explains that she was actually doing Kai Tu's homework, not copying it. He Xin doesn't believe her, but Kai Tu confirms it's true and tells her to stop bothering them and leave, while Meow Meow is quietly doing his homework. He Xin, annoyed but let it go and gives Kai Tao some homemade food, insisting that her aunt pack it for him because he always eats junk food which makes him sick all the time. Kai Tu initially refuses and asks her to leave again, but after much persistence, he hands the lunch to Meow Meow, ordering her to finish it. This infuriates He Xin, and Meow Meow tries to decline. But Kai Tu threatens that if she doesn't eat it quickly, he will announce to the whole class that she was an anti-fan of his. Scared, Meow Meow reluctantly opens the tiffin to eat. Just as she was about to start, He Xin stops her, furious beyond measure. She grabs Meow Meow's hand and drags her to the principal to report her for cheating by copying from someone else's notebook. Kai Tu tries to explain and stop them, but He Xin doesn't listen, causing a crowd of curious students to gather. Seeing the crowd, Meow Meow gets scared. At that moment, Yu Nian arrives and asks what's going on, and sees Meow Meow, and he puzzles her like that. When he sees Yu Nian, Kai Tu turns away, his face flushed with anger. He Xin loudly accuses Meow Meow of copying from Kai Tu's notebook to do her homework, but Meow Meow insists that she was doing the homework because Kai Tu asked her to. He-shin shouts that Meow Meow is terrible at math, so it's impossible she did it herself. This made Meow Meow very embarrassed because He-shin was yelling at her in front of everyone. Yu-neon checks both notebooks and confirms that Meow Meow is telling the truth, because both notebooks have her handwriting. He-shin couldn't believe it and started to yell again, then suddenly Kai-tu, tauntingly, tells Yu-neon to stay out of his business. Tensions rise between the two, and they both start arguing with one another. Everyone, including He-shin and Meow Meow, was scared that they both would start fighting. The argument escalates until He-shin interrupts, declaring as class monitor that she is giving Meow Meow permission to do Kai-tu's homework. Kai-tu tells Meow Meow to come with him. She hesitates but follows him. But before she leaves, Yu-neon tells her that if Kai-tu is bullying her, she should stand up for herself and not just obey him, and if he is again bothering her, she should tell him, and he will handle the situation. And with that, the matter is settled, and both boys, Kai-tu and Yu-neon, storm off in anger. Back in the classroom, Kai-tu suddenly starts doing his own homework and tells Meow Meow that she no longer needs to do it for him. Meow Meow asked about the reason, but Kai-tu completely ignored her. She becomes upset by his behavior. Seeing this, Kai-tu gets instantly annoyed, but when he notices Meow Meow looking sad, he tells her he only did it so he could get some extra sleep. Meow Meow, completely confused, is about to ask more when He-shin butts in, advising her to stop talking to Kai-tu because he's not her friend, and by the way, he was the reason Yu-neon and Kai-tu had a fight. Meow Meow just falls silent, probably wondering why she even showed up today. Later in the computer lab, everyone is busy with their work, when suddenly He-shin's computer freezes, and she still has tons of work to do. Meow Meow notices this and offers her own computer. Since she has already done so, she can use hers. But He-shin refuses and starts asking other kids for help, who all reject her faster than a spam email. Everyone knows how Kai-tu would react if asked, so that's a no-go. But still, He-shin tried to ask him to, but he refuses to help her. Eventually, He-shin gives in and uses Meow Meow's computer, awkwardly thanking her. But as soon as He-shin looks at the screen, she realizes and is shocked that Meow Meow was the girl who badmouthed Kai-tu because Meow Meow forgot to log out of her account. The next day, Meow Meow heads to the bookstore to buy books for exam prep, but instead she gets sidetracked by writing her crush Yu-neon's name on a sticky note. She enjoys doing cute, romantic things like this. Suddenly, Yu-neon shows up and asks her why she always seems so scared around Kai-tu. Meow Meow wants to spill the whole story, but then fears Yu-neon might find out she likes him, and if Kai-tu discovers she told Yu-neon everything, he will probably broadcast it to the whole school that she was the one who insulated Kai-tu. So, Meow Meow simply said that she can't tell him the reason behind this. Respecting her decision, Yu-neon leaves, but Meow Meow follows him, leading Yu-neon to think she is stalking him, so he confronts her. Meow Meow quickly clarifies that she lives on the same street, so she is just going home. Yu-neon smiles, realizing that's why he sees her every day. They walk home together, and when they reach Meow Meow's house, Yu-neon wishes her good luck with her exams and heads off. Meow Meow practically floats into her room, but then her sister comes in crying, saying her doll's wedding is ruined because she doesn't have a wedding dress. Meow Meow, channeling her inner Project Runway contestant, calms her sister down and sews a beautiful wedding dress out of some fabric Yo-Yo had brought home. Meow Meow's sewing skills are top-notch, and their mom praises her too, saying that even though Meow Meow might not be great at studying, she is amazing at designing and sewing. But when their mom recognizes the fabric as part of her new curtains, she goes ballistic, scolding both of them and probably questioning her life choices. Anyway, exam day finally arrives, and all the kids head to the exam center. On the bus, Meow Meow tries to sit next to He-shin, who coldly brushes her off, leaving Meow Meow feeling pretty hurt. At the exam center, He-shin's stationery kit falls on the bus, and she can't find a pen in the exam hall. She panics and asks for permission to leave, but the exam is about to start, so now she can't leave the exam room. Seeing her distress, Meow Meow asks what's wrong, and He-shin explains to her that she lost her kit and now she has no pen to write the exam. So, Meow Meow breaks her pencil in half and gives it to her with a pen, wishing her good luck. He-shin, moved by Meow Meow's kindness, starts to soften, and they both manage to write their exams well. After the exam, He-shin sits next to Meow Meow and starts chatting when she spots Yu-neon's umbrella and asks how Meow Meow got it. At first, Meow Meow tries to claim it's hers and dodges the question, but He-shin recognizes the scratch marks on that umbrella that was made by He-shin. Meow Meow finally confesses that Yu-neon gave it to her and explains the whole incident. He-shin, a bit angry, confronts her, asking why she lied in the first place. Meow Meow says it's because she thought He-shin was Yu-neon's girlfriend, which makes He-shin burst out laughing, because Yu-neon is actually her cousin. something Meow Meow didn't know because she is new to the school. Now they both laugh about it and head home together. Meow Meow invites He-shin over to her place since she doesn't know many people here, and He-shin could be her new friend and even help her with math. When He-shin arrives, Meow Meow's mom is thrilled because it's the first time Meow Meow has brought a friend home, so she starts preparing snacks for them. In the room, He-shin tries to teach Meow Meow, but nothing is getting through her tiny brain. Meow Meow asks her to explain it differently, but still, no luck. Then Meow Meow shows He-shin some formulas Union wrote down, saying that's the only way she can understand anything. He-shin recognizes Union's handwriting, but Meow Meow tries to deny it. He-shin then reveals that she has known Union since they were kids, so she knows exactly how he writes. He-shin now realizes that Meow Meow must really like Union since she has kept all his stuff so carefully. Teasing Meow Meow, He-shin suggests she should get tutoring from Union and even pulls out her phone to call him. Meow Meow, of course, panics and tries to stop her. Now both Meow Meow and He-shin start joking around because He-shin is 100% convinced that Meow Meow has a crush on Union.